Hi guys, this is Louise and this is my very first video, so that's exciting. I've been wanting to do some videos for a while and thought this might be a good place to start. I quite often see questions and people posting concerns about what happens to be one of my absolute favourite pens, so I thought I would try and answer a few of the most common questions and just provide a little bit more hands-on information about this pen, and that is of course the Pilot Capless Vanishing Point and Decimo. The Decimo is this slimmer version and the Vanishing Point, or Capless, there's a couple of different names for it, is the chunkier version. This is quite heavy as well. This is definitely a heavier pen, whereas this one is pretty average weight. So which one you would choose between the two models really just comes down to whether you like a slimmer, lighter pen or a heavier, sort of thicker pen. I only have one of the standard size. I have a few of the Decimo size, that's the size that suits me, and I have that in a few colours. So I like to have a few different pens inked at once. So I have different colours for making study notes and lecture notes. And that's one of the things that this type of pen is very useful for. As you're probably aware, the main point of this pen is that it has a retractable, if I can do it, a retractable nib. The click is actually quite addictive. If you like a clicky pen, this is good for you. And really, the main attraction of this pen is the convenience of that retractable nib. And it is very convenient, and that can make a huge difference depending on what you use your pens for. And I'll just apologise quickly for my dirty fingernails. That is that's art resin that I can't get off. That's not actual dirt, it's just a bit of residual art resin there. So apologies for that. But back to the pens. I use mine for taking lecture notes more than anything. I do an online degree, online classes, and all my lectures are videos, which I think pretty much the entire world is in that situation at the moment, but mine really is an online degree, even in non-COVID times. And when I'm watching a lecture video, I want to be able to take quick notes. I don't want to be messing around with a pen cap. I'm very good at losing and dropping pen caps as well, so when it's one of those situations where the cap's going to be going on and off and on and off, because I don't like leaving the cap off, then yeah, it becomes a bit of a waste of time for me. And really this just eliminates any kind of messing around. So it's extremely convenient. And oh, my cat's decided to join us. That's Tim Tam. Hello, Tim Tam. She seems to think I'm talking to her. Maybe I am. But her handwriting's even worse than mine, so we might just pop her. Now, yes, there you go. Whoops. Anyhow, she's fine. Back to the pen. Yeah, convenience is the main selling point. Cat hair. But there are some legitimate concerns that people raise when wondering if they should purchase one of these. And I would say this is definitely one of those pens that you want to try before you buy. Just unquestionably. And it all sort of comes down to your grip. And I naturally hold my pen how the Vanishing Point wants to be held. So for me, that's fine. But if that's not your normal grip, you may find that that clip placement gets in the way. There's not really anything else that can really inconvenience you about the design of the pen. It's the clip more than anything. The rest of the pen is sleek and smooth. And the clip also provides a bit of grip as well, because it is quite a smooth material. I wouldn't say slippery, but yeah, the grip wasn't there, it would be slightly more awkward. And the other sort of concern about this pen is that your only converter option is this guy, the Con 40. Everybody's favourite, of course. Everyone loves the Con 40. It does have, there you go, slightly limited capacity unless you use a syringe to fill it. And when I'm filling these pens, I use a syringe and fill the Con 40 almost to the top. I leave a couple of millimetres, insert it into the pen, and if you don't leave those millimetres, you'll quickly find there's ink everywhere, so leave a couple of millimetres, insert into the pen, dip the pen in the ink bottle, and screw the converter up and down so that ink fills the feed. Cleaning the pen is a bit awkward as well, not the easiest pen in the world to clean. I tend to clean mine using a bulb syringe and just flush it a lot and just pump all the ink out. I also don't tend to change inks very much in these pens. I tend to stick with Orochizuka inks, and part of the reason for that is that these nibs do run a little bit dry. Not extremely dry, just a touch. Dry enough that you wouldn't want to use a dry tending ink. You would want to use wetter inks, and Orochizuka inks really just work with these. They're probably designed to work with these, but they're foolproof in general, so that's what I use. The fine nib has a touch of feedback. The other nibs I have tried in store. I only use this pen in fine, but I have tried the others in store. The extra fine is quite fine. I would say the extra fine and fine are Japanese extra fine and fine. And then when you step up to the medium, there's big steps between the nib sizes in these pens. So the medium is quite juicy. It's a bit too fat for my handwriting, but it's also quite wet. So if you do like that wetter, thicker line, the medium might be a good starting place. But the fine is perfectly nice to write with. And I'll do a very, very quick writing sample. I find it difficult to write when I'm looking at the camera and not the paper itself. Why don't we just write something simple? Yeah, my handwriting is very camera shy, and I'm not used to writing on camera at all, so Pilot Decimo. Yeah, so it's quite a fine line it puts down. The nib is not stiff, interestingly. I don't know what I'm doing there, I'm just doodling. The nib is not stiff, it does have a bit of spring, a little bit of bounce. Let's see if we can just view that slightly. There's a bit of bounce there. It's not a stiff nib, it's very pleasant to write with. Very smooth, just the tiniest little touch of feedback on the fine. Very enjoyable. The medium is very smooth, and the extra fine is toothy. The broad I barely even considered, as the medium was too thick for me, so the broad I kind of dismissed out of hand. I had to play with it and it was nice, but no real thoughts on that one, unfortunately. So if you like the broader nibs, you'll just have to try those out. And like I said earlier, you should try this pen before buying it anyway. It's just got those couple of quirks. You need to make sure that it fits comfortably in your hand. If you don't have that classic tripod grip, you're going to want to try writing several sentences with this pen before spending the amount of money that they cost. They're not cheap. They're of course gold nibs in all the Decimos and most of the Vanishing Points, 18 karat gold nibs, and the prices start in the $200 to $300 range. That's Australian dollars. So you definitely try it out before you buy it. If you can borrow one, if you can go into a store. I tried mine. I think I tried the first one in London somewhere. But I tried all the different nib sizes in Tokyo, in Itoya Ginza, and tried them all out to see which one worked best for me. which is exactly what you should really do with this pen. Other than that, I don't think they're too controversial. Pilot in general is not too controversial. Their pens are extremely well behaved, and I don't think I've ever had a problem with a Pilot pen or nib, which is not to say nobody has, but they're very well behaved pens. And I think honestly, if you can get over that clip placement and the Con 40, if you hate the Con 40, then there's no other option other than using a cartridge and refilling it. But if you can get over those, then I think this is an exceptional pen. I absolutely love it. It's my everyday pen, and I cycle between the colours. There's a few of them again. These are all of these 5 here are from the 20 colours sets, which they started issuing, I think it was November 2019. And they have a different finish to the standard Decimo and Vanishing Point. They have a slightly textured finish, which is very, very hard to get on camera. I don't know if you can see that. There's a touch there. It looks textured, it scatters the light, but it still feels smooth, comfortable to write with. It's a nice feeling material. But they are very difficult to photograph, especially. They're coming out quite well on the video, I think, but taking pictures of these is difficult. That is not that light baby pink that it often looks. This is more of a, no, this is the hardest one to really get. Let's put it on the white tabletop. It's not the colour it looks on the screen. The others are. So yeah, there's dozens and dozens of colour options. There's always limited editions coming out. There's so many trims, so many colours. There really is just something for everyone in these pens. Yeah, so I hope that helps a bit. I hope my first video was not too dreadful. There's still a bit of cat hair on the paper. Other than that, I hope you guys got something out of this and this helped you decide whether the Pilot Capless Vanishing Point and or Decimo could be your next big pen purchase.